Okay, this is day 5's writing. This is our longer piece of writing that we're going to do today, and you're going to use your ideas that you wrote yesterday to help you with this. In the video, I'm going to show you how to turn some of those ideas into sentences to give you a bit of a hand. Make sure you've found it in your page. It says, imagine you are Oliver. Write a letter to explain why you think your grandpa should win the best gardener prize. Now, bullet points. Read your ideas from yesterday, fix any mistakes. Use some of the ideas for this letter, and when you've finished, read it with somebody to check it makes sense. I've put our list from the classroom below. Now that list is the one that we use when we're doing a partner proofread. So when we've done our writing and when we're doing our writing, you should be thinking, making sure that it's got neat writing with some joined up letters and finger spacers. You've just done your handwriting, hopefully, the AL sound, so that might help you. Your sentences should make sense. You need capital letters and full stops, maybe some other punctuation, and some correct year 1 and year 2 spellings, and some interesting words. You've got these spellings from your older packs. Each of those had a page of them in. Let's go back to the instructions. First one was read your ideas from yesterday, fix any mistakes. I want you to do that now, even if you checked them yesterday. I want you to have another read today so they're fresh in your mind. When you have done that, you can watch the rest of the video, but check your ideas from yesterday first. Hopefully you've checked your ideas through now. If you don't check them now, then we might get some mistakes in later. We don't want that. On the next page of your pack is a set of lines for you to write on. It says Best Gardener Prize. Who should win £50 for their garden? Tell us and explain why they should win. And that's what I'm going to ask you to write your letter on today. Use your ideas, but don't just copy them. Your letter should be clear and explain why Grandpa should win. First thing we would think about is what does his garden have in it? Use some descriptions. Now I put about neat rows of carefully planted vegetables and the birds using the bird feeder. I can't just write that on its own because that doesn't make sense. So let's think, how could we start the letter? I'm going to change that now. Instead of just neat, I can put my grandpa has an amazing garden. There are neat rows of carefully planted vegetables, and let's add a little bit more, maybe some trees. We didn't write that yesterday, but that's fine. There are neat rows of carefully planted vegetables and fruit trees at the far end. That's plenty for that sentence. I also thought about the birds yesterday, so let's turn that into a sentence. I can't just write magpies flying to the bird feeder. I might put, you can usually see magpies and other birds flying to the bird feeder. So I've changed those ideas. Yesterday I just had neat rows and the magpies. Let's check that makes sense. My grandpa has an amazing garden. I think I'm going to change that to an exclamation mark. My grandpa has an amazing garden. There are neat rows of carefully planted vegetables and fruit trees at the far end. You can usually see magpies and other birds flying to the bird feeder. So you could write that onto the lines if you wanted something similar to that. How much time does he spend in the garden? You might use a sentence that starts with he. You might use the word always, maybe often, or usually. You could use some of those words in a sentence. You might have something like, he always spends his free time in the garden. Every day he spends time in his garden. So just a few words. You can always pause this to help you look at the words, but you'll have to turn them into sentences. How does he feel about his garden? How does it make him feel? You might use the word enjoy. You might use the word happy in a sentence. You might have something like, he enjoys spending time in the garden because it makes him feel relaxed and happy. Maybe he feels peaceful. Again, you can pause the video so you can see some of the words that you might want to use in your sentence. What would he buy for his garden if he won the prize? Well, maybe something big, maybe something small. He might buy some new seeds, he might buy some tools or equipment, maybe a shed or even a greenhouse. Keep those new plants warm, the seedlings, maybe if he's growing something like tomatoes or strawberries. If he won the prize, he would buy something like that. Okay, so you've got the words there to help you. You can always pause them again, pause the video again so you can see the words. And why do you think he should win? My grandpa should definitely win because, and then you need to think of a reason. Maybe he worked so hard, maybe he deserves the money. Have a think about that one, and that's how you could finish your letter. Do it onto the lines, and remember to check after you've finished all of these things as well. So good luck with your writing. Remember, the video has, if you go back a little bit, it has these sentences, these words you might want to use. I'd love to see your writing when you've finished. If you could take a photo and send me an email, that would be absolutely brilliant.